Hey guys, thank you for joining us. The Galt Experience here with Andrea Galt. I am Christian Galt. And Andrea, today I wanted to talk about how things start at the top. It always starts at the top when we're discussing business, when we're discussing family. Anytime there are any hiccups in life, you and I always talk about, well, it always starts at the top. So let's dive into that a little bit. When I think about this topic as being the leader of Galt Insurance Group, I do think that anything that is going wrong, it's always my fault. And it doesn't matter if it's something as small as the way a phone call is transferred or the way a meeting is conducted, anything that's going wrong at the company, even though I might delegate some things to people, it's always my fault at the end of the day because I'm the one that is supposed to be controlling the situation and saying, here's the blueprint, here's the kind of the track to run off of. I know you do the same thing in our household when it comes to our children and running that household. You're the CEO of our household. And anytime things kind of go awry, we always say, hey, it always starts at the top at any family or any business. So I figure what we discuss is the past 24 to 48 hours. You've got to witness it firsthand. And I think it's real, like with this podcast, I wanted to speak as real as humanly possible. Last week was a bit of a week and then we got out of things and we were really excited about this week and we've had a great week. But I would say in the past 24 to 48 hours, there were certain things that just did not go the way that I had planned it to go.
Right.
And after all the frustrations and me, basically in the car with you going, oh, it's this one's fault. It's that one's fault. It's da, 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 da. And we got home and I was extremely frustrated. I think when I stopped down and just kind of relaxed for a second and you just kind of let me vent for a little bit, which I appreciated, I realized like it all starts at the top. So essentially it was my fault. And there's something very powerful about taking that ownership and holding yourself accountable.
Right.
Even when you don't want to, even though I might have said something like, well, I've told this person 4 times and I've told that person 3 times and it's still my fault. And from your perspective, how would you describe the past 24 to 48 hours as, you are seeing the behind the scenes of Galt Insurance. You obviously have seen the behind the scenes of our family and all the things we do there. From your aspect, what is your view of like, you saw me spiraling down, then you saw the middle part, and then you saw where we are right now, which I'm in a very good place. And this is real for business owners and real for people. So let's tell them like, really, like, what did you see?
It's not really that 24 hours that I would ever look at and judge.
Yeah.
We've been here a lot. The ups and downs, we always talk about, they're part of life.
Yep.
Having that responsibility of being CEO of a business, a home, whatever, just being in charge, even if you're in a manager's position, it's something like an opportunity. You have to be grateful first. So I think that I think it's really healthy to get things off your chest and say how you feel. We always tell the feelings are not facts, especially when you're dealing with children.
Yep.
You have to know if they're sad just because their Jolly Rancher was eaten by some other kid, or if there's something really that's bothering them, but they're just putting all that blame on another child or a teacher or something, and really just getting the real story. And the real story is this, is that we are blessed every day to be in this position. We are put in this position for a reason, and it's for our strengths. We don't try and focus on our weaknesses. They'll always be there. That's why you create a team around you. That's why you create a business that has the protocols and the hierarchy, because you hire the best for the things that you have weaknesses in. And I believe that that's the best way to run a company successfully, and everybody's much more calm because they know where they stand and they're working on their strengths.
Yep.
So you wouldn't ask somebody that's terrible at doing something to do that every day, and you wouldn't pay them for that terrible job. You ask them and you hire them to do the best they can do. And I believe that you're technically hired yourself
Yep.
and said, you know what, I'm the best man for this job. And it funnels down from you from there, and most of the time, if not 99% of the time, you're calm
Yeah.
because you normally know the answer. And what I mean by know the answer is just like a mother or father, we don't have the answer for everything, but we create the answer, meaning I know what I want to see happen. And because you have the vision from day one on what Galt Insurance should look like
Yep.
and where you want it to go. Ideas are not always adopted quickly and easily. Most new ideas from any business or coming from a mother telling a children, this is what we're going to do now, you're going to make your lunches. When I've been doing it for the past over a decade, it's a shock to them. They have to get their clothes out. Oh my gosh. And they're going to be all mad about it in a tizzy. And that's the same idea when you change someone's agenda of what they've been used to, or you get them out of their comfort zone. Luckily, what I see and I love most about the way that you lead is that you jump in the water first.
Yeah.
You have never asked anybody to do even when it's, you're not going to be good at it.
Right.
Like you just know, your strengths.
Sure.
And you flex them, and you should. But, you automatically will jump in that pool first and say, no, guys, the water's fine. It's not burning hot. It's not cold. You're going to love it.
Yep.
And then from there, and that's just an example, metaphorically speaking.
Sure.
But hypothetically speaking, you always do that. Mm-hmm. That's how you lead. You go first. You'll clean it first. You'll do it first. You'll create it first. See how it goes. And then you allow others in because you want them to feel comfortable. You want them to bring their best. And in order for someone to give their best, they have to feel like there's not a lot of risk involved.
Yeah, one thing that you said there that really resonates with me is that I get to do this.
Yeah.
I get to make that choice and that decision of, okay, we've been here before.
Always. Yeah.
I know this feeling. I think I told you yesterday, it can be at times a very lonely feeling where you feel like you're just on this island all by yourself. And, I had a bit of a pity party for myself for a couple hours where I was like, oh, this isn't working. This is not, just completely like getting it off my chest. Yeah. And then after our conversation, I kind of decided, I was like, all right, now it's time to take action. Everything is my fault. I am the leader here. Right. So what are some things I can do? I can start planting some seeds of momentum. How do I do so? Let's have a meeting. So the first thing I did is I had my executive team and we sat down and I was very honest with them. There was no BS. Mm-hmm. Guys, this is what I feel. I feel a little disconnected right now. And what we always say, and I said, listen, understand that feelings aren't facts, guys. The truth of the matter is, they're doing very well in their silos. They have different projects they're working on. And
they're the best at what they do.
If you've really looked at results, forget about what I'm seeing, but just results, they are knocking it out of the park. And I had to mention that in the meeting, like, guys, I know it sounds like I'm coming from a very crazy perspective, but this is what I'm seeing down the future. I feel like we're on a boat and there's a couple cracks. And I want to make sure we patch up these cracks so there's no issues moving forward. But I got to let you know that, like, what you guys are doing is it's working. So please don't lose that. You help me with that, because sometimes when I will have meetings, I won't get to the punchline till the very end. And you've helped me kind of bring the punchline at the beginning. So I was like, listen, guys, just want to let you know, you're doing great. Everything is going great. I'm going to nitpick because I see something that could potentially hurt us in the future. Once I explained it and I gave them my why, they listened to me. We cracked some jokes in there, but ultimately it changed everything to now where we got back on track and we're getting back onto our meetings and we're back on schedule. So from the chaos of the past 24 to 48 hours in my mind, by the way, there was no chaos here at the company. It was chaos that I had created in my mind, but there was something that needed to be addressed. I said, let me sit down with my team and let me discuss what the solution is. So I came to the meeting with the solution. And I realized that I am responsible for creating momentum at this company. I have to create momentum. I have to basically say, guys, this is the direction we're rowing. I have to create the momentum, because then the momentum is contagious in a very positive way, and it rubs off on people. It
Creates
just
enthusiasm.
it brings their whole energy is different. Their vibration is different, not only here professionally, but then when they go home to their family. So I take that stuff very serious, and I'm going, all right, if I want to create momentum and this momentum is contagious, I have to get really clear with my vision. And I have to basically say, guys, you can't read my mind. I've done a horrible job of explaining what the rest of the fourth quarter looks like in this first and second quarter of 2026. Let me give you my vision, and let me make sure I paint this picture so you can see yourself in this picture, and you will know your role. I will know my role. And we're going to meet every week, almost every day, to make sure that we're all rowing in the same direction and we're all doing the right thing. So that for me was such a game changer in real time today. And look, guys, when you watch this podcast, I'm sure for a lot of you entrepreneurs and business owners and people that run their family, this isn't something that you haven't heard before. It was just a reminder for myself that, okay, things are kind of going in different directions in my mind. Whose fault is it? It's my fault. And I need to sit down with my team, or we need to sit down with our children and go, children, you're not making your bed. This is how you need to do it. Whatever it may be, it is my fault though. And it's very powerful, and it really gets you get back in control.
Right.
Mentally, you get back in control, because
Right.
you go, you know what? And then
Not
I
about
got to
controlling others. It's about
controlling
controlling
yourself.
which then kind of transforms into controlling the environment.
Right.
You know how the environment feels. If you ever went into, a house where someone may have just had a fight or something, it feels awkward.
Yeah.
If you've ever walked into a meeting at the end where there was a heated debate,
Yeah.
feels like eggshells. Like, you know what? Maybe I'll just go make that coffee, and you feel like you want to get out of there. But I think the top thing that you're really talking about is communication. For me, communication is everything.
Yeah.
And we talk things out. And sometimes, you are a typical male who's just solution oriented, and you'll say, Andrea, just do this, just do this. And I'm like, no, I'm just kind of talking through things.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh, I said, so, I don't need, so I'm just kind of talking through things. And sometimes it's good to, when you do have a meeting with your children, with your family, or with your business, you have to understand that bringing everybody together to have conversation, it's not about you trying to tell everybody what they should be feeling and what they should do now and ready, go.
Right.
It's about you saying, okay, I realize that I'm like somewhere over here in the clouds. I don't like where I'm at. I want to come down, and I want to like bring everything together. So what's going on in your world that's creating a disconnect? What's going on in this person's world where they're not on the same page anymore? It could be a matter of a week or 2 weeks that someone could get off the same page as you. The same with children, same with parents. Sometimes if parents are traveling, or there's a lot going on in the house, and there's sports and food and business and all that stuff all in one pot, it's hard to identify, who's wrong, who's right. And sometimes it's not about pointing the finger, except you just have to look at yourself and say, let me slow down. Let me communicate. I'm feeling this way. I'm not sure why I'm feeling this way. All I know is I don't want to feel this way. I feel like if we changed this, it would be better. If we change that, would it be better for you? It has to work both ways, so you'll never see eye to eye.
Yeah, I think the main thing, speaking even from this morning when I met with the executive team, is it was important for me to let them know my intent.
Right.
Where I'm coming from. I'm coming from a very good place. I'm coming from a place that I want to put people at this firm in a position to win. That's it. That's it.
The same as you would me or your son.
100%.
Because you care. I talked to my original best friend, Jen, this morning, and we only talk once a quarter. You know how it is. It's a quick mom life. She has young kids. My kids are a little older now, but we chit-chat, and you have to create the boundaries, and it always does start at the top, like you said. But, yeah.
Yeah, it's important to hold yourself accountable. It's important as a leader of a family or of a business or anything that you hold yourself accountable. The people can feel your intentions, right? They can hear it in your tone. They can understand that you care. Like at the end of the day, I care. Like you care about our children.
Yeah.
I care about the
If you
people at
didn't
Galt
care, we would
Insurance.
never even talk to them. We
No,
would just,
I
it
would
wouldn't
talk.
even be a thing.
I would talk down to him, be like, just do it. I don't care why it's not working. Just do it. And that's not what I did. I took full responsibility and said, look, this is where I messed up. And it really did come down to communication. It came down to a few things that where I realized, like, I always try to put myself in their position. And, there's times too where I'm like, no, that's complete BS. Like, you've got to do better. And I'll call someone out on that as well. I will always call out the elephant in the room. Everything's not fluffy.
Right.
I don't want this to be some podcast where like, well, listen, just say everything's your fault. It's not that. I will hold myself accountable, and then I will surround myself with people that also hold themselves accountable, and then we can roll in the same direction. If there's anyone in that circle that doesn't have that same mindset, they'll never make it at the company anyways, but the people that I know their intentions and I know what they're about. So, I mean, literally after 10 minutes, we were going, this is great.
Right.
Something good came from it now, and we are going to grab that momentum again. So I feel like the waters were just like this, and now all of a sudden a little momentum came, and we're going to create a good wave. And what's going to happen is that the fact that they know where I stand and I know where they stand, that helps then for the other teams. And then everyone is kind of rowing in the right direction. Before you know it, I knew after that meeting, I go, man, we're going to have an incredible December. Because a lot of times it will take 30, 60 days to create that momentum. You don't just snap your fingers and everything's fine.
Right.
Everyone has a lot on their plate. So the solution to this was we're going to have meetings. We're going to have an allotment of an hour first Monday morning. Honestly, guys, we got away from it. You can set checklists and you can set calendar reminders and stuff, but the reality is some people will be out sick. Some people have vacation time. Some people are working on different projects within the firm. And you don't want to mess that up because marketing is important. Getting new clients is important. Closing new clients is important. There's so many different buckets that need to be filled, and you don't want to mess up the flow. But we both agreed that we do have to all stop because we'll always be busy.
Always.
We all have to stop just to communicate and take that 60 minutes to basically say, this is where we are, this is where we're going, and this is where we see the next. It's so, so, so important. So today was a very good feeling. I'm happy to record this podcast because it was a great reminder that we do this with our family and we also do it with our company, and we do get away from it. So when we do and things start, it's going to happen again in a month. I'm going to go, oh my God. And then I'm going to go, it's my fault.
That's because it's always changing.
Always.
I think that's what I was trying to say when I was talking to my friend. It's a constant changing thing. You can't ever grasp it.
It's not to set it and forget it.
No, and it's not something where I'm like, so right around January 14th, my 12-year-old son is going to come to me with something weird for his birthday. Like, I don't know what the future holds. So that's why it's really important that I'm constantly painting the picture for them.
Yeah.
And showing them, like, if they ask for things, I'm like, what, we're going to get that. But don't forget, like, Christmas is around the corner. Oh, we're going to see the family then. Or we're going to wait till springtime to plan another Evermore trip. Not everything is going to come immediately how they want it either.
Right.
And so that's a conversation that you constantly have to have. I mean, even with employees, there's expectations and there's hopes and there's worries, and that comes with everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody being human. But the more as a leader, when you are at the top, whether you're a parent or a CEO or in a manager position, you constantly need to paint that picture for somebody. And remember that not everybody grasps your perspective the same way.
Yep.
So you've known Mike Pinnan forever. You've known me forever, what seems forever, because we just know a lot about each other. We've spent a lot of time together. You'll know how to communicate with those people. You know how to find, their sweet spot, so to speak. Like, what makes them happy, what makes them tick, what makes them upset. So you really have that control over them.
Yep.
And you never, ever, ever abuse that control. Like, you always choose kindness, and that's such a great way. But when you're talking to someone that maybe needs, for you, you always say, I want a visual.
Yeah, give
Just
me a
something
visual.
to change around our driveway, just a few pavers. We want to see where it's going, how many feet it's going to the left, how many feet it's going to the right. And once you see it, then you can make a more educated decision because your brain has actually digested that idea, the thought, the value, and then you can make a better decision rather than like, oh yeah, 10 feet this way. Oh yeah, sure. And then something bad happens. We can't make decisions like that.
Yeah.
So if you can learn who you're talking to too, that would be, that's like a success rate too. Like you talk to Sarah different than you talk to Sammy or Ryan or Griffin
Sure,
or
you have to know your
anybody in the
audience.
office. I could say anybody, but everybody gets almost like a special treatment because everybody needs to be communicated differently when you're at the top. So don't underestimate how much effort you put into talking to each and every person in your life if you are in that leadership role. It makes such a difference. You'll find more loyalty. You'll find more confidence in each other. Boundaries are respected. And the conversations are really easy and they just are good.
Yeah.
Good things happen.
You've got to be able to cast a vision that's so big that the people on your team see themselves in
Part
that.
of it. And
part
shining.
of that.
Yeah.
And listen, don't be afraid to ask for help. When there's certain gaps that need to be filled, I will literally say to Sarah or to Mike or to Steven or to anyone on our team, I'm not very good at that. I need your help with this. Can you help us move this forward? Because there's a domino effect. Until this gets done properly, we can't move on to the next 2 or 3 things. You're really good at that. Do you mind having that conversation or doing this or moving that? Be humble enough and smart enough to know that you've built a strong team around you, and you have to trust your team to say, hey, listen, I need your help with this. And it's not a sign of weakness. It's smart. You are able to delegate to someone that is going to do something better for you to basically help everyone at the firm, which ultimately helps the clients have a better experience. And that is the goal. We are trying to build a firm, and I believe we're succeeding at it, that is helping clients and at the same time is creating careers for the people that work here that is going to just change their whole life. So that is the goal. And in order to do so, you need to have the right people around you. And I'm very fortunate that at Galt Insurance, we do have those people. But sometimes you get busy. Everyone gets busy. And I keep saying, so to come full circle on this conversation, it always starts at the top. It starts at the top. So when you start feeling as a leader, and look, you don't need to own a company to be a leader. Everyone on our executive team is leaders. The people that are in the sales team, they're leaders. The account managers, they're leaders. We're all leaders. But once you get to the point where something starts to go a little left or a little right and you need to bring it back in, it starts with you. So make the decision, make the choice. Once you get past, feeling sorry for yourself for maybe an hour or so, get past that choice, think of the solution, share it with your team, and row in the same direction together. And I think the rest of it will take care of itself. Anything else to add, love?
No, I totally agree. And
Yeah.
it reflects as being a mom and being in charge at the house. Everything you said could be put into that context as well.
100%. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you guys watching this episode of It's Starting at the Top. It's a good one. Watch it again. And thank you guys for your time.